you have a moment of finishing something or getting stuck in a problem, right? Like, ooh, my creative juices have
I'm embarrassed about where this goes.
Have just run dry, or like I'm in a moment of stupor. And so what is a natural reaction that we do now? Instead of like sitting and pondering and letting ourselves feel uncomfortable for a minute, what do? Grab my phone.
There's a beautiful Unchained opener. Jen was coordinating carpool, and she said, I guess I need to be glued to my phone more often. Why don't you pull that mic over and tell us what you mean by that?
I hate being glued
to
But
why do you need to be glued to it? What happened?
Oh, because this is 2 days in a row where we've tried to coordinate dance carpool, like right before. School ends at 3, and at 2:58, I got a text. Hey, are you okay to drive carpool today? Obviously, I can't because I'm in St. George, so I just realized, I should probably look at my phone more often than not.
This is a pretty fun Unchained topic.
Yeah.
Because my friend Frank Klesitz, he lives in Nashville now. He lived in San Diego forever, Frank and Katie, and their 2 kids. Frank had no cell phone, running a company called Viral Marketing, a marketing company, which it's an email marketing company. They handle all of our mass email marketing for 10 years. Frank did not have a cell phone. It was basically a challenge.
Ooh.
2 years ago, we got a cell phone. He finally caved and he said, it doesn't work.
You have to. Yeah.
Well, and then, you have a 17-year-old and you have 17 and 15 at school. Ask your kids if they need their phone at school. 1,000%.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh,
I think like teachers
do you know they're in class and there's teachers like scan the thing?
Sometimes, yeah.
I've talked to Matt.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, you.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. I have mixed feelings.
Well, I don't like it at all.
So yeah, I have mixed feelings about that. I'm on the board of Annie's school. She's in 6th grade and it's a charter school. And we actually discussed our cell phone policy a couple of months ago. And of course I was the one to ask, what is our cell phone policy? And because I think if I were a teacher, you don't want to be the bad guy, right? To have to always say to the students, put away your phones, put away your phones. But I said, well, we probably should have a good cell phone policy at the school to, so that it's cover for the teachers so that they can say, this is school policy. You need to have your phones away. Like I don't, if I see them in class, then they have to be confiscated or whatever it is until the end of class. Because they're so distracting in the younger ages and they're so distracting in meetings. And how are we on this topic? Anyway, it's a good topic because we're so chained to it.
Yeah, because you were carpooling.
I know.
And
yeah.
And this is fun because we're talking about school and high school. Remember a week ago, so I went up to Diamond Valley to ride with the high school team and I was texting you. Of course, you were in Lehigh at the time. And I said, I left my cell phone in the car. It was so lovely.
Uh-huh.
We pedal out of Diamond Valley. There's an LDS chapel right when you get to Diamond Valley. And we head east through the little, it's a town, but it's not a town, through the neighborhood. And then you catch a dirt road and you start heading to basically it's like the base of Pine Valley Mountain.
Yeah.
And we were out for an hour and 42 minutes was my ride time. And I never had my phone to pull out of my jersey pocket at a break and look at and who's texting me and should I get a photo? I always get photos. I'm famous for getting photos of the team and videos while we're riding. It was so liberating.
Yeah.
And where I'm going is
yes,
we're chained to this thing. Well, I think we're actually almost chained to it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Disney movie WALL-E?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember how the people like slowly they just got they got super obese?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember? And then they turn into almost like a peanut, like a pear shape.
That was almost about
yeah.
That's a funny word.
Well, they look like an amoeba human.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And they were just like all, and then their chairs like slowly tipped back, and then like the robots would just feed them food, and that was predicting the future.
Yeah.
But this is funny because this is not about that. It's about this. We're in this futuristic world where we're like James Bond talking in our watch.
Yeah.
That was James Bond, like
Yeah.
in the 70s and 80s.
That's so true.
And we're chained to these devices that we're not physically chained to them, but remember didn't you ask your kids if our thumb is becoming all extra strong? Like if the new generation of humans will have like super thumbs.
We were just talking about that, right? Like, wow, we've got this juxtaposable thumb, but yet what is it going to be? Like an extra juxtaposition of the thumb? I don't even know if that's the right word in that sentence,
like a triple jointed thumb. It's
but
like
almost, yeah, because people are so good with their thumbs. So, but I do not like that movie Wall-E, by the way.
No,
it's freaky. It's
Wall-E.
Weird. Yes.
Do you know where I saw it? It was. You don't guess. Just kidding. So
okay, Annie.
Tell them you have a daughter that. What's this?
My 11-year-old always says, "Hey, guess this. Guess who I saw. Guess what I did."
And I'll say,
"Guess
"Oh,
this
who?"
song." You know?
And then she'll say,
"Yeah." You get frustrated by it though.
I'll say,
funny.
"Well, I don't know," and she'll say, "No guess."
Yeah, like she's insistent. You have to do 3 to 5 guesses.
Because usually what we say when we say guess what, we don't actually intend that they guess.
It's kind of like, how are you? Right?
Yeah.
Going back to first episode.
Guess where I saw it? I saw it, but I actually saw it at Hanson Planetarium in Salt Lake.
Oh,
I was with my kids who were 17 to 24. And I'm going to bet, I know the trip I was on. I took them up in the summertime to my cousin Reed's home, who lived in Bountiful. And I'm going to bet that they were 6 to 11.
Okay.
Let's see. 17 to 24. I bet they were 5 to 11 kind of age, 5 to 11, 5 to 12. And it was just my 4 kids and I, and we went to the Olympic Park.
Oh, cool.
And the same Olympic Park that I rode my bike through, and that race Saturday.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing Wall-E. I did not like it. And that portrayal of the future was frightening. What did you not like about it?
It was just weird. Yeah. And I don't even remember a whole lot about it at this point, but I didn't like the portrayal of the human race. I didn't like what happened to the planet. It just was a doomsday kind of movie, depressing, which I think that was the intent of the movie. If we're not intentional about what we're doing, how we live. I like that we have balance in our society between environmentalism and then even industry, right? So it's not only environmentalism because we need people, like people inhabit the planet, people live on the planet, and we also want progression. However, if we rape and pillage the land, then humanity suffers and dies. So I like that we have that in our society. That movie just portrayed what happens if it's only rape and pillage the land, right? Like if it's a Fern Gully kind of movie where they cut down all the trees and yet we could talk about other topics about that, like all the development and how sad I am about it.
Ticking us off.
Yeah.
So since we got on the topic, what do we like? This is here on my lap. Now I have some quotes. I think we're actually going in a different direction for a minute, and we may have to record multiple episodes.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
What do we do about this device? We're chained.
Yeah.
We're chained because this is what the world is built on now. Right? Hey, scan the QR code. You're like, if you didn't have a phone, you can't scan a QR code. Because what were people saying about 2 years ago? Oh, just get a flip phone. No.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I've actually thought about a flip phone. But then I realize I need GPS, right? And my camera. And then I like to look at, Google Maps all the time, photos. Those are things that Strava, music, yes.
Listen to YouTube.
Podcasts.
Audible.
Yep. Need to listen to our podcast.
How many times a day, this is just for fun, how many times a day do you look something up on your phone? You won't be able to know, but guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Apple, iPhone, it will tell you how many pickups you've had.
Well, we know
and
how
it's
many
kind of
pickups you have.
embarrassing. It's
Mine's
terrible.
the worst. I don't even dare look at it. Should we look?
I know, like my weekly usage, which I always hate. It makes me feel so
Mine's
dumb
pretty
to
bad
see
right
it.
now also because I've been on it a lot doing things this week.
Yeah. But what do we do with it? Anyway, I wanted the
Daily average
phone,
6 hours, 6 minutes.
That's not bad. Is that today?
That's this week.
Or is that this? Okay.
I guess this isn't bad.
So 3 days. 3 days into this week. Or 4. I think mine's usually like around 7 or 8, which is always odd, but it's because I'm listening to podcasts a lot or audiobooks. And so all of that counts. But
So I have 153. Okay. To your point. Today it's messages. Today. Messages, Instagram, Gmail, Strava, Facebook, Zillow, 1Password, Notes, Safari. Now, normally Gmail wouldn't even show up until later in the day because I lock it down with an app called Opal.
oh,
So like yesterday, it was messages, Chrome, phone, Gmail, Instagram was way down.
okay. Wait, what's your daily average this week?
6 hours, 6 minutes.
Okay, I'm at 546 for
So
the week.
I have 153 pickups, but guess how many times I picked up my phone yesterday? 247 times.
Wow.
Do you ever pick up your phone for no reason, just to grab it and like glance just to see if something's on it?
And I hate that.
Well, oh, yeah.
I hate it.
I'm expecting
Yeah,
the answer is yes.
Well, and when you start realizing, oh, no, this is the worst though, when you have a moment of finishing something or getting stuck in a problem, right? Like, ooh,
I am
my
so
creative
embarrassed
juices,
about where this is going.
have
I'm embarrassed about where this goes.
have just run dry, or like I'm in a moment of stupor. And so what is a natural reaction that we do now? Instead of like sitting and pondering and letting ourselves feel uncomfortable for a minute, what do? Grab my phone, right? And think, oh, I need to like scroll through these 3 different sites that I'm used to scrolling, or maybe I got a text, or maybe I got an email. So it's hard to stay focused because we've trained ourselves to become unfocused. And it's like, could we be more chained down?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, that's why I said I was scared about where that was going,
Yeah, I know.
because I knew where that was going.
Do you want to hear what mine is today?
I do.
Photo. Okay. Oh, wait, those are limits. Okay. Messages. What? 1 hour and 12 minutes today. My notes app, 1 hour, 4 minutes. Safari, 47 minutes. Speeches, 36 minutes. I listened to this talk this morning. YouTube, 35 minutes. Also a podcast I listened to. Strava, 25 minutes. What was I doing on Strava for 25 minutes
That's
today?
a long time to be looking at Strava today.
Google Maps, 20 minutes. Okay, that's fair. Oh my goodness. Yeah, calendar, 5 minutes. Music, 3 minutes. Anyway.
I'm 54 minutes in messages.
Are you? Yeah.
So
like, why? What am I doing in messages?
I don't know, but I want to sell a product called Opal, who I have no affiliation with Opal. But if Opal would like to affiliate with us and sponsor our show, the Unchained podcast, we would love it. So Opal is an app that I love. And what it does is you set app limits, a little bit like screen time. But what it does is when Opal starts for me, I have it set for like 8 to 5, 8:30 to 5. And it locks down Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I don't use, but our business, the Larkin Group, is on there. WhatsApp, it locks down, which is funny because WhatsApp's not a social media app. So I've got to figure out how to unlock that because sometimes my buddy Dan messages me. It locks them all down. And when you go in, it'll say, oh, and it'll give you this hilarious thing like, Houston, we have a problem. You're locked out. Or like it'll make a funny quip.
Yeah.
And then if you say take a break and you snooze, you tap it and it'll say 5, 10, or 15 minutes is the most you can snooze. And when you tap on it to go into the snooze, it counts down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Do you know why I counted that down for you and I and listeners? Because that's a long time.
Yeah.
And it'll say embrace the pause, and it'll show like willows blowing or trees in the wind or flowers. And what I'll do when I tap it is I'll go, I'll let myself breathe out.
So you're giving yourself a space between what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so you're bringing yourself back to a present state.
I still go
which
in
is
because
good.
I'm a sick person.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it says embrace the pause. I try to I just do whatever the app
it's like
says.
bringing you back to present moment, right? Because you were like, I'm going to say it in this terms. You were leaving your body because all of a sudden something was triggered in your brain. Like, this is too uncomfortable. So I'm going to go do something that's like comfortable and self-soothing, which is my phone, right? We may do it with food. And then this app, which you've put, you've
Opal,
imposed on
OPAL.
yourself. Yeah. is actually intentionally helping you to, one, not go into those apps, but two, giving you that moment to ask yourself, like, oh, wait, it's kind of like you're in a state of hypnosis and all of a sudden you think, wait, what am I doing? Why am I doing that? Do you feel like that with that countdown? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, and then what happens, they'll say, do you want to snooze? Well, typically I try to pull off the 5.
Yeah.
And here's what blows me away. What I'm often doing is opening up Instagram to post or look at data on our business, on the Larkin Group or Complete Realtor. So by the way, if you're listening, you can find me at Larkin Group for my business, our real estate company, or at Jeremy Leon Larkin. And where can people find you? At
Dandelion Runner on Instagram.
Yeah. I share both because they're separate, but at Dandelion Runner.
Dandelion Runner, yeah.
So what will happen is I'll go in, and one of the tricks that we play on ourselves trying to use social media for our businesses is, oh my gosh, I mean, it's not hard to post every day. It only takes like 2 minutes. It doesn't, because I go into post. I'm going to post the video. I'm going to post a photo. I'm going to make a reel. Oh, shoot, I need to add music. Wait, I need to go ahead and add captions. Oh, wait, I'm going to type in text. Oh, shoot, it started the text 30 seconds in. What will happen is before I'm done, it'll say, oh, sorry, time's up. And it'll lock the app down.
Wow.
And that's the whole premise of freaking Opal.
Yeah.
The whole premise is
be efficient.
Well,
don't get lost.
I think the premise is get the hell off the app.
Yeah.
And it will say something like this. Be bigger than Instagram.
Wow.
Whatever app it locks you out of, it's programmed to say. And so then what I'll have to do is I'll have to unsnooze it again to finish the post.
Yeah.
So
wait, but how many times does it ever lock you out of your apps?
No, it doesn't lock me out. It doesn't lock me out. Unless somebody else set it up. Yeah. I guess somebody else could set it up. It doesn't lock me out, but what it does is it'll give me a report at the end of the day. Today I'm out. We were coming on here. We were going to come do some podcasting. Yeah. So I actually turned the app off because I looked at our, we have a saved Instagram folder of stuff that we think is like
relevant that we want to talk about.
Unchained.
Yeah.
So I didn't look at it. But what Opal will do at the end of the day is it'll say, dude, congratulations. So Opal gives me my own score. Right. So, and it tells me it's actually realistic kind of what's actually happening on the screen time. I think, I think it's a little more real to what's happening, but I don't know. I just kind of like that. Right. I just think it's kind of cool.
Okay. For some reason I thought it locked you out because I have to say, so you told me about Opal a while back. So I went to sign up on it. And I think it is Opal. There might be some other apps where you actually can't get in until a certain time, So if you set your parameters from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever that might be, you can't get on it. And I have to say that freaked me out. So I thought, that's like too much control. I don't want to give up that control. That right there says something. The funny thing is, I don't even enter Instagram and Facebook. Not even every day usually. So
I do. And shouldn't have to say this, but I do.
Yeah.
I do. And it's so funny, for no illicit purposes, meaning it is literally like I'm watching my ski feed. I'm watching the ski fitness because now it's September and you and I have been talking.
Yeah.
If it's September, it means it's time to do what for ski season for me?
Start lifting.
Yeah, like get in shape for ski season.
And buying new gear.
Oh, and buying new gear. Or I'm watching mountain bike stuff. Or I'm watching business stuff.
Yeah.
Like business meaning real estate stuff. But I literally, my phone is in my back pocket normally. And I reach for it so fast out of habit, like you said. So I found 2 things that I want to share help. I shared one. One is Opal. The other thing that helps for me, there are actually 3. And I want to hear from you because we did not plan to talk about this.
Yeah.
I just want to hear kind of what you think. Number 2, and this is going to get really funny. And I've told you this, every single time I go to get a massage, my phone comes out of my pocket, goes to airplane mode. And when I lay on the table, I'm literally like, this is different. Well, Jeremy, just put your phone in the other room. That's different. If your phone's in the other room, you can just walk in the other room and check it. Who, by the raise of hands, listening to our show, has put their phone in the other room and just freaking walked in there to like snuck in, boop, 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 checked your text messages and gone back? I have. And virtually every person who puts their phone in the other room to keep it out of their hands has freaking done that.
Yeah.
Massage table, it's not only not in my hands, like I'm physically naked. It is, what will happen is when I'm in the massage, I get all this clarity and I start remembering all the things that I forgot to do for the day, all the things that almost like all the things that matter. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. Like,
that's
so,
nice.
So that Opal is really helpful. Being in a massage is really helpful. And then the last thing that's been helpful for me, but I'm addicted to keeping it in my bed too late, is plugging in my phone in the bathroom at night.
Yeah.
But I'm still guilty of hanging on it too late in my bed or crawling over to it like a drunk the second I wake up in the morning. Must check my phone. I'm just like, I can't wake up. Oh, there's a text, a missed call from Jesse at 6 a.m. What do you have to manage your phone, or is it not a thing?
Oh, I'm perfect. It's fine. Like, you heard my screen time, a whopping 6-hour average.
Yes.
No, of course I have to, just like anyone. I love going to places where there isn't cell coverage, and I love taking my kids to places like going into the mountains. When they put cell towers up American Fork Canyon, which is near my house and my favorite canyon, I had mixed feelings about it. I was actually really upset at first because I knew that as soon as I entered the canyon and went past the toll booth, then I was just free, right? And then if I ran with friends who like had their phone on and, you know, you're running up in the mountains and you get to certain spots where suddenly...
Question.
Yeah, sure.
Name the show. Question.
I don't know.
The Office, Dwight Schrute. Question.
Oh, okay. You're right.
When you said you were free, I just need to understand.
Yeah.
Don't lose your train of thought. Isn't there this level of like, hey, sorry, I didn't have cell service?
Yes.
Like, you're not only free from the messages, but you actually feel like you're free from culpability if you miss stuff.
Yeah,
okay, keep going. I wanted to see if that's what you meant. All right.
No, and just this
I was out of service.
On-demand response rate, I hate it. So anyhow, when I would run with friends and then they would check messages while we were out running, I just thought, leave it alone. Like, why do you need that? And so when they put cell phone towers up the canyon, I had mixed feelings because I loved being able to just say, hey, peace out. Like, I can't check my phone. And, you know, there was always the question of what if something happens? And I think then you figure it out, right? Like, you know, the likelihood of dying is very, 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 very low. So it's okay. Like, you figure it out. So anyway, I love going to places where there is no cell service. I love taking my kids places because it's amazing to watch them experience boredom, which they need and I need. And I think adults, we are just as bad as our children. We can't be guilty. So anyway, one, find places where I don't have cell service. Yeah. And
by the way,
and
that used to be Powell.
Yeah.
Now it's like, man,
oh
you're
really?
Getting a glorious signal out.
I know.
Unless you're in some really far out cove.
Yeah.
There's too much signal there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
a lot of mountainous places are like now have service. So the Uintas don't. So I'm excited to go to the Uintas,
Okay.
but there's still also like that, ooh, I'm going to be off grid for 6 days, you know? Anyway. And then also I set times when I will check my phone. So I do this also with like eating. I've just set a parameter. I don't have sugar before 4 p.m. or even until after dinner, because then you just set it. And so with phone, I don't look at my phone until after I might glance at it, but I don't do anything. And everyone is different, right? Based on what their lifestyle is. But for me, I don't hop on my phone when I first wake up because I don't want to, and it's distracting. And so my goal is to get out the door, exercise, come back, get myself ready, get my kids ready, get them off to school. And then, you know, I'll glance at it. But I find that if I do it prior to that, it's just distracting in my schedule. So that's helpful, is setting a parameter of when I will be on my phone. Also, are you familiar with the block schedule concept?
I am.
of blocking, time blocking.
I sure am. That's what
So-
we train in real estate.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. Set times where you're actually going to look at your phone. So you kind of balked a little bit at putting your phone in the other room. Okay, and the third thing is I do the same thing that you do at night, where I plug my phone in also in my bathroom, and it's in a separate. It's away, so it's not even on my nightstand, because I found that if it was next to my bed, my brain would go to this place of, I need to email this person. I forgot I need to check my Amazon cart for this. I need to text this person. I need to like calendar this. I need to look at this race. I need to, read all these emails. I need to read this book. Like 75 things later, and an hour and a half later, I'm finally going to sleep. So I just put my phone away, and there's just so much liberty in walking away from my phone.
You mean you fall asleep on the couch with your phone?
Okay, so I will fall asleep on the couch,
which is a
snuggling
thing.
with my dog.
She has this
And
thing.
then I will
she falls
wake
asleep
up
on the couch and goes to bed.
Yeah, true.
You
Okay,
said
that
something. You said I balked. The question is for our listeners: is it balk or balk? I don't know. I've always
Balk.
wondered which. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I say balk. I don't know if I'm
there's
right.
an L in there, so
I know, but it could be silent. Do you say walk or walk?
oh my god.
Okay. I don't know. I walked
Well,
over.
let's use the word salve and salve. You can
Salve.
say both. Both
I
are
know.
correct. So
You said, I heard what you said. I balked. I balked.
anyway,
I balked.
but
Yeah.
putting it away, keeping it in my car sometimes, and then walking into my house and doing things that I need to do is powerful, because then I'm not thinking about it.
I agree. And here's why I balked,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, at putting it in the room. I think putting it in the other room is a great thing.
Uh-huh.
My point is, what I was trying to articulate was that, but being on the massage table is way different than that, right? Because the phone is in airplane mode and I'm stripped down butt naked under a sheet.
Yeah.
And
You can't. It's like taking a nap or being in an exercise class. You're not going to be checking your phone.
And one of the reasons that I struggle so much to have a nap often and why my brain doesn't want to turn off is I go in to have a nap and my phone is nearby. And it's the middle, because you and I have the same nap schedule, which is, what is your nap schedule?
Like 2 or 3 p.m.
Yeah, between 2 and 3, I always want to have a little nap. And it's hard for me to turn my brain off because I keep wondering. So I want to wrap this up because we turned this into an actual episode.
I know. Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it up with a story about my cycling coach that I've kind of been mad at, that you and I know about her cell phone policy, texting.
Uh-huh.
So I have a hard time turning my brain off when I nap because I wonder who I might be missing, like they need me, which actually sets this story up perfectly because it presumes, whatever the word is, that somehow out there people know that I'm laying on my bed or sitting in my chair in my office napping.
Uh-huh.
That's number one. It also assumes or presumes or implies that they have a right to get to me all the time.
Yeah.
Both of those things reveal something.
Yeah.
They reveal how sick this has become for us.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Which is the story. My coach, Sarah Kaufman, at Sarah Kaufman. I need to find out what her Instagram is. I can look on my phone since my Instagram is not locked down. Because if you want a cycling coach, I can give you to her. But when we started working together, we just worked together for 5 months for the point-to-point race. Oh, and I have to tell you about point, no point. 2 things as we wrap up. Sarah had this policy when I signed up to coach with her to get ready for this race. She sends you this big old Bible that's like how to work with me. And here's her links to get food from the feed at discounts. And you can buy a power meter at a discount from these people. And you can order from. She said, by the way, unless it's an absolute emergency, and I think it said, and very little is an emergency, I ask that you please just communicate via email.
Wow.
I kind of resented for the entire 5 months that I text her 2 times in the entire time that we were coaching.
Yeah.
Well, what would happen is I would do a workout. It would automatically upload from my Wahoo app, my computer, to Training Peaks. And then we can both comment on the ride in there. And we'd have full conversations in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd respond, she'd respond. But what's funny is I think there's an important point here. I resented that I couldn't just text her. I resented that she set a boundary. How interesting that she actually pulled off what my buddy Frank Klesitz couldn't. Frank, of course, she has a cell phone. Frank didn't have a phone. But what all of us most want to do is have boundaries around our cellular device, but it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And then the joke about complaining about traffic when you're in traffic in your own car.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing with cell phones. Man, I can't believe everybody wants an immediate response, and then we send a text, and we're like, "Damn it, I need a response."
Yeah.
Depending on the nature, right? I just thought that was so interesting that I was annoyed with her for not. She had a boundary. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much damn flippin' frickin' frackin' peace she gives herself?
Yeah.
I can only imagine that she completely preserves her sanity by not having 25 clients or whatever she has. I'm guessing she has a lot of clients. Mm-hmm. Texting her, hey, it's me. Because think of the nature of texting. Just these one-off. Hey, I just got off my ride. Man, it was really hot. Hey, do you think I should lower the PSI on my tires? Hey, that reminds me. Do you use Garmin or Wahoo? Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, I got kind of sick using this electrolyte. Like, where does this starts? It never ends.
Yeah.
And the point is that, I talked about the point. I once upon a time went to a place that I want everyone to know about called Point No Point in British Columbia. It's north of, what's the cool little city up there? Victoria.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's on the coast.
Yeah.
And the water is crashing against the shore below, and then you go clear up the hillside, and there are little individual cabins up on top. And they take great pride in not having cell service.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was about 10 years ago. Huh. I'd be interested to know if they have it now. Yeah. It was like, FYI, we don't have cell service. When you walk into our hotel or restaurant, you can get a grainy Wi-Fi connection. Grainy is not the right term, but
Yeah. Well, so why, I guess I'm just thinking, why does it matter, right? And I'm going to answer my own question. I was thinking about it. Can you imagine a scenario where you have a restaurant of people eating that are actually eating, and they're paying attention to each other, and they are paying attention to their servers, and they're enjoying their ambience and not distracted or thinking, oh, I need to respond to this. I need to take this phone call. I need to text this person, and letting their brains be distracted. There's just so much value in being present.
Can I imagine? Go back and watch any of your favorite movies pre-2000.
Yeah.
And you're basically watching that. Probably 2005 even, but 2000.
But we don't live it now.
I know, so, but I'm laughing saying, that's about what it was, right? You go back to all the classic movies that we love, the rom-coms or whatever.
Yeah.
That no one was on a cell phone.
Yeah. So, but ultimately that's the ultimate piece, is being present and just retraining ourselves. How do we get back to a state of being present? And we just live in such a hurried culture. That's a whole other thing that we can talk about at some point, is boundaries, because you brought it up and I've been focused on boundaries. So we'll have to talk about that another time. But
the fact that Cloud and Townsend, who are the authors of the Boundaries books, had to write 6 of them. Boundaries in dating, boundaries in parenting, boundaries with this, boundaries at work. I mean, tells you, and they're all bestsellers.
That we need it, that we need more boundaries. So
okay, well, this started out
with cell phones.
Yeah, this started.
We can be unchained.
With
me taking phone calls.
Well, but with you needing to deal with carpool, and you said I should be glued to my phone more often. And by the way, of course, you were being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe, as a matter of fact, I can't believe how nice it is to be recording podcast and have my phone on Do Not Disturb.
That is
even
nice.
Just knowing that we're doing this right now means I'm not fiddling with my phone.
Yeah. Not thinking about it.
All right, Jen, how can they find us?
Well, let's see. Our Unchained podcast is on Apple, Spotify, YouTubes. And I haven't figured out yet how to find Unchained podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, we might have to make some modifications to the name.
But anyway, you can find the links in Linktree on our social media. So I'm Dandelion Runner on Instagram.
Or at Jeremy Leon Larkin. And our show is always brought to you by our friends at Blueform Media. That's where we record, and Blake and Mallory, they make it happen, and they make it happen really, really, really good. Download Opal. Take a trip where there's no cell service. It still exists.
Yeah.
hide your phone, go get a massage. Isn't it funny we have to pay to hide from our phones? But I sometimes do. All right, over now.
Okay.